Lord's Prayer. Our Father, and I do my hands like this because I'm reviewing all the different pieces of it and how we've taken it piece by piece, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. So we started with Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us. And today we're on from evil. Yes, we're dealing with the part of the Lord's Prayer that says, deliver us from evil. We learned that deliverance means to snatch us out, to snatch us up and to snatch us out of situations where God does for us what we're not able to do for ourselves. It's the unexplainable grace of God. But Jesus taught his disciples upon their request the prayer, and a part of the prayer says, deliver us from evil. All right, so pulling point number one, we're dealing with evil as a state of consciousness, and we move and we grow and we learn and we unfold to various stages of consciousness. Some people might call them levels of consciousness. And so pulling point number one, the first level of consciousness that many of us start at is where we have two gods and two powers. Yes, pulley point number one is two gods and two powers. That's where a lot of people start from, especially those who are Christians, that we start with two gods and two powers. You've got the good God, which is Jehovah, and you got the evil God, which is the devil. And the good God, Jehovah, is good, and everything good comes from the good God, Jehovah, and everything evil comes from the bad God, the devil, or Satan. And these two gods are at war with one another, and we're somehow in the middle with an angel on our right and a devil on our left, and we're just in the middle trying to figure out what God is going to get our attention. And so many people, they start with that dimension of consciousness where they got two gods and they got two powers. The two gods are Jehovah and the devil or Satan, and the two powers are good and evil. And each one of those gods are reigning and operating with a particular power. The good God is operating with good, Jehovah, and the bad God, the devil, is operating in evil. And so there's this spiritual warfare going on, this conflict, and we're just kind of bobbing and weaving in the middle of these two gods and these two powers of good and evil. And many people see life like that. Many people live their lives like that, like an angel and a demon. That they got these two gods and these two powers that are pulling for their attention, that are pulling for their time, that are pulling for their energy. And day by day, moment by moment, they're operating in one of these two powers between one of these two gods. If you've ever thought like that, if you've ever operated in that consciousness of two gods and two powers, give me a thumbs up, give me a high five, give me a heart. If you've ever operated in that consciousness where you got two gods and you got two powers, Jehovah and Satan, good and evil. Give me some thumbs up, give me some high fives, give me some hearts. If you've ever, I know I have. When I grew up in church, that is how I was taught. And we operated in that particular dimension of consciousness. And let me tell you, it is exhausting to go between these two gods and these two powers. And you're trying to always bounce in between and make sure that you are kind of, because they throwing stuff your way. And that is an exhausting way to live. But it is a state of consciousness where a lot of Christians live bobbing and weaving between the good God Jehovah and the bad God Satan, and between good and evil. All right? So pulley point number one, we have is a state of consciousness where there are two gods and there are two powers. Pulley point number two. Then many of us evolve in consciousness. Consciousness is our awareness. It is how we function, how we think, how we operate. A lot of us grow from that consciousness. I know a lot of people who watch the Daily Download have grown to another dimension of consciousness, and that's where you have one God, but you have two powers. So he said, Satan's been defeated. God, Jesus defeated Satan. He was manifested to destroy the works of the devil. It's not really the devil. We got to take more personal responsibilities for our lives. And so we get into the one presence, the one God, which is Jehovah. And we let go of our love affair with the other God, which was Satan or the devil. And so we move in consciousness to having one God. But that one God has good and evil. The good and evil are found in that one God. And so even though we're operating with one God, Jehovah, we still believe in good and evil. And so when he says deliver us from evil, he's talking about our consciousness, our awareness, our functioning in this consciousness of evil. Deliver us from that. Take us to a higher way of thinking. Take us to a higher way of speaking. Take us to a higher way of living. Take us to a higher way of seeing things. Deliver us. Lift us up, take us to a higher way of being. All right. So then we move point number 2 to where there's one God, but this one God has two powers. And the one God has the two powers of good and evil. Kind of like Job, when Job was going through his situation where he was having all these things happen with his health and with his family. He said, can I receive evil? I'm good at the hand of God and not evil. He believed in one God, but that one God could give him good, or that one God could give him evil. If he did what was right, he received good from that one God. If he did what was not the highest and the best and the right and the perfect, then he received evil from that one God. And so he had one God, but he had two powers. All right. And even in the Garden of Eden, in the story of the Garden of Eden, they got the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. First, they only knew good, but then they had this opportunity, this tree there, where they had the knowledge of good and evil. And so many of people move to that next state of consciousness. They've not let go of their idea of believing in evil, but they did let go of their idea of the devil. So they've got one God, but they still got two powers. One God, but this one God does good and this one God does evil, and we're on the side of good or evil with this one God. Give me some thumbs up, give me some high fives, give me some hearts if you've ever operated, or maybe that's where you are now, in that conscious where I know it's only one God. I know it's only Jehovah. I'm not getting to that devil stuff, but you still believe in good and you still believe in evil. Give me some thumbs up, give me some high fives, give me some hearts if that's how you think, if that's how you're operating in your life, if that's how you believe, if that's how you function. If you ever function in that level of consciousness where you had one God, Jehovah, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one, but this one God could operate in good, or this one God could operate in evil. Give me some thumbs up, give me some high fives, give me some hearts if you know anybody that operates in that consciousness that there's one God, but this one God can give us good or evil. Give me some thumbs up, give me some high fives, give me some hearts. All right. So pulley point number 1 is two gods and two powers. Pulley point number 2 is you have one God, but that one God has two powers. The next dimension of consciousness, or as we continue to evolve and grow and develop and unfold, there is a place in consciousness. Did you hear me? There is a place in consciousness where you only have one God, Jehovah, and you only have one power, which is good. That's another place in consciousness. I don't have two gods, God and Jehovah and the devil. I only got one, Jehovah. And I don't have two powers operating in my life. I only have one power. One God, Jehovah, and one power, which is good. For God is the everywhere evenly present spirit of absolute good. So that is a stage of consciousness. That is a whole way of shifting how you see. The Bible says, if your eye be single, then your whole body is full of light. If you only operate in God, the good, then you're only going to see God, and you're only going to see good in every situation. So in every situation, every circumstance, my soul is searching for God in it. My soul is searching for good in it. It's knowing that all things are working together for my good because I love God, one God, and I've been called according to God's purpose. And so I am encouraging each one of you to keep lifting your consciousness up. Deliver us from evil. Deliver us from this evil consciousness. Because I only believe in good. I believe that good is all there is because God is all. No matter how painful it might feel, no matter how ugly it might look, I only believe in one power and one presence operating in the universe and in my life, in my world, and in my affairs, and that is God the good. Now, I see it as I said, this day is jammed and packed with the lessons and the blessings of God. I see that one God providing me only good, and that good is either a lesson or that good is a blessing. Instead of calling it evil, I really don't believe in evil. I believe in lessons and blessings. And so a blessing is the good that is apparent, the good that is obvious, the good that you can see. All right? And that's what a blessing is. I can see the good. It's a me. I ain't got to struggle. I ain't got to, squint at it. I can obviously see the good. A blind person can see the good when it's a blessing, all right? But when it's a lesson, it means the good is there, but it's not apparent. I don't see the good. But just because I don't see the good does not mean the good is not there. Just because it doesn't sound good, doesn't smell good, doesn't taste good, doesn't feel good, doesn't mean that it's not good. It's my perception. And so I've learned to go in prayer and meditation. I've learned to go in the stillness and the silence until I'm able to get what the lesson is and make the good that was covert, make it overt, make the good that was hidden, allow it to become obvious in my consciousness. So I've learned to see lessons and blessings, the good that is apparent and the good that's not apparent, but it's still good because there's only one power, which is God, and one presence in my life, which is good. God is all there is. Reverend Burnett Jones from One God, One Thought would often say that God is the only show in town. God is the only thing playing in every theater, on every screen of your life. It is just God. There's nothing else but God. God is all. I only got one God. I only got one power and presence, and that's good. That everything that's going on in my life is God. It's God teaching me. It's God showing me. It's God healing me. And even though I might label it as evil, because we need to understand contrast. Our human brain needs to understand contrast, light and dark, good and evil, blessings and cursings, life and death. That's how the human brain operates. But when I move into the mind of Christ, when I move into a higher dimension of consciousness, I don't need that contrast. I only have God and I only have good. God is all there is and good is all there is in various degrees. Based upon my consciousness and my ability to see it, and various manifestations based upon my consciousness and my ability to see it. Various forms, various manifestations of consciousness. God is all there is in various degrees, in various forms, in various manifestations. But that has to do with your consciousness. Determines, can you see good in this form? Can you see good in this manifestation? What degree of good are you able to see in this? And so deliver us from evil. Deliver us from this belief in evil and cause us to move to a place in consciousness where we only see God and we only see good. And so I'm telling you, this weekend, work with that. Work with one God and one power. One power and one presence in my life. God, not just good, but absolute good. And let go. Can you let go of evil? Give me some thumbs up. Give me some high fives. Some people need evil in their equation. They need to have this warfare. Some people need to have the devil as a part of their construct. They need that battle between. But I've released that. I've let that go. I don't need to have that. I can see one power and one presence in my life. God, the everywhere evenly present spirit of absolute good. Everything in my life is good. All is well. Every person is good. All is well. They're doing what they need to do for their soul's unfoldment. They're experiencing their lessons. They're having their blessings. And I see it as all good and it's all God. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some high five. Can you say it when you're having a health challenge? It's all God and it's all good. Can you say it when you're having a financial challenge? It's all God and it's all good. Can you say it when you're having a relationship challenge? It is all God and it is all good. There's a lesson in this and there's a blessing in it for me. I love you so much. God bless you. Thank you so much for being a part of the Daily Download. Sow a seed today. Meet a need, boost this post. Help us to share this message with hundreds of thousands of people all over this earth. Even internationally, they're able to see this message as we boost this post. So sow a seed today, meet a need, boost this post. It tells you how to do that in the description, either on Cash App or on my website, drpulley.com. I'll be preaching in New York this weekend. Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m., I'll be at the New York Center of Truth right here in Brooklyn with Pastor Joyce Anderson. It's a Universal Foundation for Better Living Church, which is where I've come from, where I was licensed and ordained. And at 4 o'clock p.m., I'll be at Love Alive International Sanctuary of Praise with Bishop Stacy Latimer. Yes, Mother Johnson, Deacon Laverne, all those wonderful saints from Elder Blackwell, White, and all of those, Brother Justin, all of those saints here in New York. I'll be in Manhattan, New York on Sunday at 4 o'clock at Love Alive International Sanctuary of Praise. You can find out more information about my travel schedule, where I am, what I'm doing, and things that I've published by going to Dr. Pulley, DOCTOR Pulley.com. I love you so much. To see a shorter version of today's message, you can look on my personal page, Derard Pulley, Instagram, follow us, Twitter. To see previous messages, you can go to our YouTube channel and see those messages as well. Well, until Monday morning, because we don't do weekends and we don't do holidays. So until Monday morning at 6:30 a.m., remember, God is doing something wonderful in me, and God is doing something wonderful in you.